How you doing, bro?
I'm doing great, man.
Yeah?
Great, yeah.
Absolutely, man. Tell the people where you're at.
I feel like we've been here before.
Yeah, nice.
We got great chemistry with you, man.
Tell the people where you're at, bro.
I'm in the 249 in Khartoum, Sudan,
Right.
Africa. Akebulan by its original name.
That's beautiful. And what have you been doing here, man? You've been. I got here 2 weeks ago, and the moves that you've been making have been loud.
Yeah, it's been a great place for us to connect with a lot of different artists, whether it be guys from Young Justice or Huss just flew in. You got everybody from the Circle. So we've just been connecting, and also at the same time while working on music, we're preparing the show that passed on the 26th.
Before we get into why you're so busy and everything, do you want to introduce yourself to people in what you actually do?
I manage the Circle. I'm part of the Circle. I don't want to say more importantly, because there's not much that's more important than the Circle to me. But equally important, and maybe a little bit more, is pushing the culture as far as Sudan's concerned, and showing the world what Sudan has to offer and how far we've evolved in this industry. And so I feel like the Circle is a perfect representation of this new generation of Sudanese artists.
The Circle, okay, these are hand-picked individuals from across the globe, right?
I used to do some open mics, and we used to do some things at like Beit al-Finoon in Bahriya, and I would see a lot of young talent, and I would just always feel like, man, I just wish, one, that there was a few more to actually have something to call a culture and highlight, as opposed to one or two guys. It wasn't a realistic thing at the time, but I never gave up on it. And then enough people started asking me to play, oh, can you play my stuff to Cole? Oh, can you play my stuff to Boss? And finally I was like, I'm just gonna make a compilation. I remember talking to Odyssey and Sinkane about it, and they're like, oh, we didn't know about it, you didn't tell us. I was like, honestly, in my head, I was thinking like, oh, I thought y'all were too big, really. Like the Boss thing was like, we were on tour, he heard AKA Keys' track, and he was like, yo, tell him I wanna jump on that. It's like,
hold up, so Buzz is your brother, and you didn't even think to be like, actually, let me try and...
Did I think of it? Yeah, but
did you do it?
Because I like to move efficiently.
Ooh.
And the worst thing you can do in that game is try to spam people.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So for all you people spamming my DMs, that's cool. I gotta use the bathroom twice a day. That's when I check them. Other than that. The 249 experience, last August 8th. It combines 17, I would say, rappers, artists, and then I always say 18 because I also count Yasmin.
Yeah.
That's Kandaka Chronicles, for those who don't know. Amazing, amazing artist. She did the artwork.
Yeah.
But at that time, that group's not the Circle yet. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, so when the album came out,
yeah, like
it's still not the Circle yet.
The Circle existed, but it's not.
It wasn't confirmed as the Circle.
Right, like part of the recruiting came through putting that album together. First, it started with the song Sudanese last December, during the start of the revolution. I happened to be in the studio at Capitol that day with AKA Keys, Nadine, and Ease. Long story short, from that session and the vibes we were feeling, it was like, oh, this is dope, but we kind of wanted to work with each other more.
Yeah.
So we just kind of started to unify the crew a little bit more, and it just gelled organically. It's not like anybody was pushed out or not allowed in or anything. That's just how things came together.
Even though, and I'm going to keep saying this, okay, even though you are a vital member of the team, okay, as you said, you do management as well, okay, so in a sense, okay, they see you as a mentor. So with your 25 years of experience in the music industry, and more specifically your experience with Dreamville, because you've seen Cole build a team where it was just him and Eve to Bars, Cos, Luke, Aaron, it's like everyone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that team now has just had a crazy album, and
most of us look up, you know, myself included, even though I'm older than Cole, most of us look up to Cole and the whole Dreamville squad, right? So I'll quickly make an example like, oh, well, when we used to go out to the clubs and we'll be on our way out, Cole will be all dressed up, ready to go, and on the way to the door, he'd be like, this beat just got in my head, yo, I ain't gonna make it to the car, I ain't going out. I was like, well, you crazy, let's go, you can make it be a night. He's like, no, I gotta do it now. And I'll tell these stories so they understand why a guy like that made it. Or the fact that till now, he's in the studio 10 to 6 every day, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. every day. So I'm explaining, I want them to understand this guy works harder than you.
And you've, well, you know, as a country, we've come through a pretty tough year. To try and shift culture through music, especially because it's not through the manners in which the people were usually doing it, must have been extremely difficult.
If I'm a regular record exec trying to push this, it's gonna be extremely difficult. But I didn't have a penny, you know what I mean? I didn't do this with no budget. I didn't smooth talk nobody. I made it clear, look, this is the deal. I like your music and I want you to give me a song that you would want the world to hear from you. That's simple. It's basically the same thing with like Burna Boy, Wizkid. These guys didn't become Americanized. They made America run after them. Yeah. And that's my goal for Sudan. I don't want the Sudanese artists to try to be American. The core people that eventually became the circle, I was in contact with more and starting to form things, and then we'll be like, ooh, let's get this song from this person, let's ask this guy, and then somebody would be like, you know, and some people we wanted on there we didn't get on, like Flipter, for instance. Rotation wasn't traveling and we were trying to get like a full song, but we made it through with Bahdi Baby, he killed that hook, shout out Rotation. Loot when we were on tour heard Dead Body from Keys before Boss's verse was on it, and he heard a verse from G Saleh, and he heard Ease, YK, Nadine. I was playing basically who was the circle, right? And he's like, damn, I know niggas from Sudan could rap like that. And I started laughing. I was like, bro, we on Boss's bus. We wanted to make a concert that represented that and the album, and that would help boost everything, you know what I mean? Like the image, the culture. And to have Boss come here, originally it wasn't even like part of the plan. From when I landed here, it was 2 weeks before the concert. Now, unfortunately in the business, that's not all it takes. It doesn't take just having people wanting to see amazing talent. So the event was a huge success. It was historic. We had Aida, Samani, Huss, Flipter, all of them were like our special guests. And then you had Too Dope, my man, Rotation. Then you had the whole circle, and you had Boss. What's dope about it is that everybody told me, man, I felt like I wasn't even in Sudan. And I want that to change in the sense that like, this is what it feels like to be in Sudan.
Obviously, like that's such a huge positive, okay? But unfortunately, with certain positives, there has to be a couple negatives. And after the show, we saw a tweet from Buzz. Do you want to explain that?
That if you don't run things tight and stay on top of every dollar that's out there, people will take advantage of that. So in my case, while putting this together, I didn't supervise that aspect as strongly as I should have, because I want to supervise a concert. I want to make a show happen. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, somebody took advantage of the situation, and that's still under investigation. But I can say that it led to an angry message from my brother expressing that this is what happens, and like how he wanted to come here and put on for the country and make history, and he did that. In a weird way, I'm saying that, like, I'm not blaming myself on some sad shit like, oh man, I did this. I told my team, look, all this shit that's happening, 10 years from now, they'll still be talking about that concert. I'm looking forward. That's why I'm not down on myself right now. I still got to track the rest of the bread. That's where my mind is at. You know, everybody could talk on Twitter and everybody could say what they want. That's cool, but like I got a job to do.
Let's see how well Proof knows the squad.
Squad.
All right, man. First question: who is the funniest?
The funniest?
Slick. Ease.
Ease.
I think some are gonna say Keys, but then Ease is actually.
I would say Keys, brother.
I think he said Keys. Word? Yeah.
I would say Keys.
I'm gonna go with Keys.
Oh, that's true. That's true. I thought it was like a trick question because we always see Ease as the funniest.
Who's your favorite?
Man, I don't have a favorite. That's like asking a father who his favorite child. I don't have a favorite.
I'm gonna say Ease. I'm saying Ease because that's his nephew.
Yeah.
If you say like, all right, any song, I might say YK because YK.
Ooh, so YK.
You are.
And
See what he's doing there?
Oh, shit!
YK makes every song a hit.
YK!
YK was like, I know I'm his favorite, bro.
who has the best taste in music?
Best taste in music?
That is 100% me.
Slick.
Damn, that's a tough one. I would have to say.
I'm gonna go with Ease on this one.
Slick. This is best taste in music, bro.
Ease.
Proof is gonna say himself, bro. It's Proof.
We're not counting me, right? If you're counting me, it's me.
It's Proof.
Who is the biggest liar?
That's my nigga Young Molly.
What?
I be saying I'm about to pull up in 5 minutes, but I really pull up in like 2 hours.
I'm gonna just go ahead and say me instead of that because there's nobody on there that I can.
Who tells the best stories?
Oh, Proof. I think he would say himself.
Ease. Well, we're not counting me, right? Yeah, Ease.
I'll say Ease.
Yeah, it's Ease.
When you gonna say the stories?
Yeah, I'm gonna vote Ease because Slick.
Who is, and this is a tough one, especially in my squad because we got different styles, okay, but who's the best dressed?
Ooh, that's.
Why kids?
Yeah, I'd say Young Cool.
down.
Man, I'd say Young Cool.
My bro is fly.
I'm gonna go with G.
Yeah?
But they've seen, the thing is when they met him was in Sudan and he's been in like chill clothes, but YK is always dressed up right
You
now.
don't have to explain your answers, it's cool.
I'm trying to think. All right, YK.
Yeah?
Nah, I'm gonna just go with G. They're gonna think I'm giving everything to YK.
I don't know. Jeez, silly.
All right, thank you. Y'all got some great content, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. I don't know. Is this my first? Oh no, we did one interview before, but like I haven't done any interview. I haven't had a reason to be interviewed, so this is.
Oh, no, this one, you killing it, man. You know what I mean? You good.